Some, but not a lot of you know a part of this story. About 6-7 months ago, as the University of Pennsylvania was about to inaugurate its Mayan exhibition, our executive directors, Beth Tilak-Singh, fell into conversation with Dr. Richard Hodges, then the director of the Penn Museum. Dr. Hodges asked Zabet, and then later asked me a question. I didn't know the answer to the question. I didn't even know what the question was about. The question was, why isn't Philadelphia a World Heritage City? Well, I've become a little bit of a student of what it means to be a World Heritage City. It is a UNESCO designation. It takes a lot of prep work. One has to go through the U.S. Department of the Interior and then through the United States Department of State. But I believe, and I think you will come to believe, that it is a status that this city eminently deserves, could attain, and if we did attain, would be the very first and only city in the United States of America to be designated as a World Heritage City. We are fortunate to have a number of people who are members of the association and others who have joined in an effort to explore and get to the bottom of what this designation might mean and how we might benefit if we had the opportunity. I will say that this committee, working group, which is working on what we now call the World Heritage City Proposal. This little sign says it all. And by the way, that font you all recognize as the Poor Richard font, right? Eminently appropriate for Philadelphia. The World Heritage City is a dream at this point, but it could become a reality that would be very beneficial to the city and to everybody who is here. I'd like to call on a couple of people to tell you from their several vantage points what this is all about. And the first person I would like to call on is David Brownlee. Professor Brownlee is a distinguished architectural historian at the University of Pennsylvania. David was an early recruit to this process. Thanks again to Dr. Hodges. So David, if you are here, would you come up for a minute and tell us a little bit about Philadelphia's architectural heritage and how that might relate to this designation.
Thank you. I join everyone in thanking John Smith for pulling this and so many other things together. One thing, though, as much as we thank him for other things, we can't thank him for creating the city that is the great metropolis of art and culture and architecture that it is. That's what we have by right of just living here, and we should be very grateful for that. Philadelphia, I can think of no place on earth where one can see so clearly the symbols of globally important human ideas and the tangible evidence of globally important human accomplishments. The map of Philadelphia that you see there framed at the center between Istanbul and Paris is a map that shows in colored fields and dots and stars all of the already historically recognized designated structures and districts in this city, recognized by the city, by the state, and by our own federal government. That is what we already have. The proposal before you, the proposal that is underway, aims to achieve formal international recognition of that astonishing collection of historical resources. It's an enormous collection. Our 1683 grid plan bespeaks the Enlightenment rationalism of our founder, and our steepled 18th century skyline embodies the religious toleration that William Penn enshrined here. The American diagram of good government, the Constitution of 1789, reflects both the symmetrical planning and the enlightened spirit of the city in which it was written. Indeed, in that year, in 1789, the city of Philadelphia, then just rechartered after the political upheavals of the Revolution, the city of Philadelphia ensconced Penn's perfect grid plan on its new coat of arms, even though only about a third of it had been built at that time. It's that powerful a symbol. Even as Philadelphia ceded the title of national government, the national capital, to Washington, even as it ceded the title of largest city to New York in the first decades of the 19th century, it continued to do colossal things, global things, that left their mark on the face of the city. In 1846, the largest private corporation in the world was founded in Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania Railroad Company. And in 1855, the largest park system in the world, Fairmount Park, bought its first property. Those tangible things still exist in the railway infrastructure of this city and in its great park system, reflecting Philadelphia's perennial twin accomplishments in science, industry, and commerce, and in the building of a humane environment in which modern people might live. The crowning symbol of those 19th century, the crowning symbol and the physical embodiment of those 19th century achievements began to be built in 1871 with the construction of Philadelphia City Hall, which was for a decade the tallest building in the world. The 20th century, too, continued to see big ideas and big physical accomplishments in Philadelphia, and the marks of those ideas and those accomplishments are still to be seen. The Benjamin Franklin Parkway, which was opened to traffic in 1918, keep room on your calendar for its centennial, opened to traffic in 1918 and equipped with the Art Museum in 1928. The Benjamin Franklin Parkway was, I would argue, the first great manifestation of post-industrial culture. Philadelphia, the first city to begin to re-equip itself on a big scale for the future that we now live in. Similarly path-breaking was the preservation of Society Hill, the first great reversal of the global tendency to renew cities by destroying them. The first great achievement of a tendency that we've come to call postmodernism. That was in Philadelphia as well. In all of its historical seasons, Philadelphia has made a mark on the world, and the marks are everywhere to be seen here in Philadelphia. And the project that John has inaugurated would seek global recognition of that twin set of realities. John?